So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the scientific ad creative process that has allowed us to generate just under $2 million in Shopify revenue in the last 90 days. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go through and explain what the scientific process to building ad creatives is. And we're going to go through 8 different frameworks, proven frameworks that you can apply to your own brand today and start testing those ad creatives. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive in. And just a quick refresh for you guys to show that last 90 days, just under 2 million in revenue. Okay, so this video is going to be split out into 2 individual parts. The first one is going to be based around modular ad design, and then we're going to talk about the frameworks that use the individual modules. Okay, so this has been a game changer for us in terms of actually thinking about ad creative, but also building ad creative. Okay, so let's dive in. So a modular creative means that the whole video has been intentionally built with individual sections or modules. Rather than just throwing a random video together, is how do we actually become more scientific about the process of building ad creatives, right? And below, what we're going to go through right now is each of the individual modules you can use to build video creatives. Kind of separate these out into each category. And just an important note here, you don't need to use all of these modules that we're going to go through in each of your videos, and they're not intended to be used in the order listed below, right? Next, after this, we go through all these individual modules. We're going to look at the frameworks that use the modules, right? So you're going to be able to see how do we actually take some of these modules and pair them together in a specific order that becomes a framework, right? So let's go into each one of these. So first one is a hook, right? Pretty well-known, self-explanatory. It's the opening 3 to 5 seconds of your video, and it's the most important part to stop the scroll and grab your viewers' attention, okay? Next up, we have a problem. So this is the problem that the viewer is facing. This is when you're just stating the problem. The problem education is educating the viewer on the specific problem. This is usually for less aware audiences, but what you're doing is you're going deeper into the problem, right? So rather than just saying, do you suffer from back pain? It's do you suffer from back pain, and maybe you go into a specific type of back pain and the specific pains that they're going to be feeling. Agitate is, again, digging deeper into the problem and agitating it. So maybe the fact that they have back pain means that they can't spend quality time with their family, with their kids, those kind of things, okay? And failed solution is another solution that's different to yours that doesn't work, right? And you explain why it doesn't work. Usually this is something that the customer's already tried. That's the best case because they'll be able to relate to it. If it's not something that they've tried, you can still dispel and explain why that doesn't work, right? That sets the stage very well for you to come in with your unique mechanism, which we'll talk about in a moment. Another one is authority. So this is when you're using an expert, an authority figure, or an authority body to endorse your product or support your claims. Social proof is reviews, testimonials from other customers' experience with the product. The unique mechanism is what makes your product or solution different to others, right? It's the unique value proposition, the thing that is a separating part, right? If you think about, here's why our product is better than everyone else. Maybe it's the formula, maybe it's the ingredients, the bioavailability. It could be the quality itself and why it helps. So something unique, right? The discovery is how the creator or the actor in your video discovered your product. So usually, these videos are UGC, they're filmed by content creators, and the discovery side is how do they actually find it, right? Because usually they're telling a story from their point of view. How do they actually come across it? The product intro is simply introducing your product. The features is explaining the features of your product. The benefits, explaining the benefits of your product. The end result is the creator situation after experiencing your product. So if they started with the problem of back pain, after using the product, how do they feel? How does that change their life, right? And linking that to the desires that the customer wants. The guarantee is introducing your guarantee or risk reversal and explaining how it works. The offer is, what is the offer? This isn't get 10% off. It's more about what are you giving them in return for their money, right? It's the product, but maybe it's also, if they buy today, they get a free gift. If they buy a bundle, they can save more, all this kind of thing. And the CTA is a call to action for the viewer to take the next step. So click the link below, shop now, learn more, etc. So really what we're doing here, guys, is we're taking all these are likely present, in some of the videos that you created or that you've seen. But what we're doing is we're actually identifying the individual modules themselves, right? And when we do that as a first step, as you'll see now in the next phase of this video, we can start to have more intent behind the ad creatives that we're testing, right? And especially as you begin to do iterations, it all becomes more of a continuous improvement process rather than, let's throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, whatever sticks, we're going to try and create more of it. Like it's just a lot of unknowns and a lot of ambiguity. Here, it allows us to drill down into more specifics. Okay, so with that being covered, now let's dive into the ad frameworks. So the framework is really the combination of the individual modules put together in a specific way. Okay, so frameworks are built up of individual modules, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go through some proven winning frameworks to use when building your creatives. So the first one is a problem agitate solution. This is simply a hook, a problem, you agitate the problem, the discovery, the product intro, both of those combined, I guess, is the solution. The features and benefits, the unique mechanism, authority, offer, and CTA. Okay. Now, as I go through each of these, this is just like frameworks that we've used, and there are obviously, of course, changes you can make to this, right? If you want to, do more problem education before you agitate it, of course you can do that, right? These are not like set in stone. These are just ones that we built that we found work well, and just wanted to show you how this actually looks in practice. Up next is 3 ways X helped me, or 3 reasons why. So the hook itself is the title, right? 3 reasons why this was the only thing that cured my back pain, or 3 reasons why I'm no longer crippled with back pain in bed and I can spend more time with my grandchildren. Something like that. And then the product intro, the reason why that's coming up right next is because usually the 3 ways or 3 reasons why is about the product, and it makes sense to introduce the product right away because you're talking about that in the next reasons, right? So usually this is the product, this is a unique mechanism. So straight away you want to introduce the unique mechanism to decommoditize and differentiate yourself from all the other solutions that the customer is thinking of and has likely tried before. Then you want to go through each way or reason. So you go through number 1, you give a little benefit to each one, 1, 2, 3, and then end result. After using this product, this is how I feel, this is my life now, and I'll never go back to the solutions. Offer and CTA. Okay. Next up, we have how I went from this to this. So this is really a before and after state, and the hook is again this title. So they'll say like how I went from this to this. You can either be like a visual, so maybe it's like a split screen of someone like holding their back in pain in bed to someone running with their kids or something, right? Or you can actually write it out and read it out, right? So how I went from being crippled with back pain to being able to, spend quality time with my kids, right? You can also say it out. So that's the hook. The problem, you want to take the viewer back to the problem, right? Which is the back pain in this example. You want a discovery. So how they actually found the product intro, unique mechanism, some benefits, authority and social proof, end result, guarantee, offer, CTA. So again, you can add things like authority and social proof into other creatives, right? That could be something that you test with, right? And thinking, okay, like if our engagement in the video is not that good, what can we use to try and improve that, right? And maybe authority and social proof is a way that you can add that in just to add a little bit more trust within the user. So again, just different things you can play around with, but this is the general outline of this framework. Next up is Did You Know? Also less aware audience education. This is great for unaware audiences that you're not trying to sell them, you want to educate them based on where they're at, right? So this could be for people who, let's say they don't know about the problem. So they're really unaware. The hook is, did you know, like it starts with that, or did you know the common cause of back pain is, X, right? And maybe it's something else that they don't realize, another problem that they have that's causing their back pain. Or it could be, did you know that 40% of Americans above the age of 40 begin to experience back pain and it creeps upon them before they even know it, right? Then you want to talk about the problem, then you want to go problem education, failed solution. You really want to go deep on this because you want to you're trying to convince someone who doesn't know they have a problem that they have a problem, right? So you really want to go deep on this problem in product education. These videos are usually longer because of that. Then you want to talk about the failed solution, the product intro, authority. Authority is really, really important for this one because, again, people, they don't know about your brand, they don't know about your solution. You're just introducing them to the problem. So you want to have some authority to back up whatever you're saying. Again, instilling trust in the viewer. The unique mechanism of your product, benefit number one, benefit number two, end result, guarantee, offer, CTA. And you might not even want to introduce, the product right away. You might want to drive someone to a landing page, more like an advertorial that's educational, that gets them into the funnel, right? You're really going for the soft sell. That's just another option for this framework. Next up is how I X without Y. So how I fixed my crippling back pain without getting surgery, right? That could be an example. So that, again, is the hook. You want to talk about the problem. So you want to go back to the problem and how that is actually affecting them. Agitate the problem, go deeper into it, meet the viewer where they're at in their head by agitating the problem. Talk about the failed solutions, right? The surgery, maybe like if the hook is how I fix my crippling back pain without surgery, maybe it's like, I had 3 friends who each had surgeries to fix their back pain and they're still faced with the same issue. So that's like a failed solution. I knew for sure that I didn't want to go down the surgery route after seeing what they went through. Okay. Unique mechanism is obviously after the product intro. Unique mechanism, you're talking about, I would relate it specifically to why this works better than going through a surgery. The fact that maybe it's faster, instant pain relief, that it only takes 5 minutes per day and that's it. Things like that. Features and benefits, of course. End result, how they are now. Offer and CTA. Next up is if you're tired of suffer from insert the problem, watch this, right? So if you're tired of back pain stopping you from being able to watch your kids at soccer practice, watch this. Okay, that in itself is the hook. Then you want to go problem, agitate, failed solution, discovery, product intro, unique mechanism, features and benefits. You can see how this is quite similar, right? The important thing here is how we talk about obviously the hook, but immediately after that, how do we keep them engaged in the video, right? That first 25% of the video is really, really important, that we go deeper into the problem and agitate it and let the viewer feel understood, okay? And then we're in a good place to introduce our product and our solution and then talk about that with features and benefits, end result, add some authority, some social proof, and then finally present your offer and your call to action. Another one is why I'm throwing away my failed solution for this, right? So maybe the failed solution in the same example is a back roller, right? Something that you want to choose something that people are using, that your audience is already using. So why I'm throwing away my foam roller for this, right? Someone uses a foam roller every morning to ease the back pain, then you might want to, position your product against that failed solution. So that in itself is the hook. You immediately talk about the failed solution because this is what we're presenting, right? And you want to explain why it's a failed solution and then how you discovered this product, right? So my friend actually suffers from the same thing. He found this product and put me onto this, right? Then you introduce the product, you talk about the unique mechanism. This is why it's better than the failed solution. Features and benefits, the specific things that make it better, and the benefit, the outcome. End result, so how they are now, authority, social proof, offer, CTA, okay? And then this one is stop, insert conventional accepted activity or solution, right? So an example of this is stop using salt to season your food. You want to go against the norm here. You want to create some polarization that hooks people in. And then you want to talk about the problem education, the discovery, the product intro, the unique mechanism, and again, very, very similar ending. But the important thing here is that you say this, but then you immediately back it up, right? So you want to talk about, look, this is why the commonly accepted solution to this problem it doesn't work, right? Or it doesn't give you relief fast enough, or it doesn't last long enough, right? There's multiple angles you can take with this, but this is ultimately the framework. So those are the frameworks that I wanted to go through. Hopefully this gives you, a good idea of how the modules fit into these frameworks and how you can start to test some of these yourself. I'd rewatch, I'd go back, I'd make notes on each of these frameworks, and then start to put them into practice, right? When you have it laid out like this, it isn't so daunting, it isn't so difficult to start thinking about it because it's broken down, right? You can literally say, okay, I want to create a problem agitate solution ad. These are the 11 different modules that I'm going to include. Now I need to write a script that covers each of these, right? And when you have them laid out, it's literally just, you're writing 1 or 2 sentences for each of these. That forms your script. You send that to a content creator, you're filming it yourself, you're getting a family member to film it, a friend, whatever. And then that's your content, right? So pretty simple and straightforward when we break it down like this. And as I mentioned before, this has been a game changer for us because, I see so many brands, agencies, they're just throwing stuff at the wall and they're seeing what sticks, and there's no direction or scientific process to ad creative. And there needs to be. When it's so important, you need a process like this in place. Okay, so that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave a comment below for the types of videos you'd like me to cover in the future. Always great to get your ideas. And yeah, there is more of this kind of thing. This is actually pulled from my school group, my community, where we go a lot deeper. There's to give you an example, there's a lot more stuff that we go through in the community itself. So if you're interested, hop in there. We'd love to see you in there. But yeah, that's all for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.